Hello, welcome back to the Delicia.Ramphago podcast, and I am Delicia. So, for you, my lady, it was never worth it to go after a man, whether it be off in a relationship or you wanted him to marry you. It's not gonna work. I know there are some women, they even go on to propose to a man to marry them, ask a man to marry them. You're always nagging him, when are you gonna marry me, da 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 da. But you can see that he does not want to do that. It's been 5 years or 10 years or so, but he's still on his neck, like, when are you gonna marry me? And because this man, I don't know how they think, they won't mind to the extent of just, you know what, shut up, here's your ring. And that is what is called a shut up ring. Let's find out the signs of a shut up ring, because there is a such thing called a shut up ring. Let's find out those reasons. Those signs that, you know what, that one was a shut up ring, whether you like it or not. Let's get into this video.
We are back with more signs of a shut-up ring. The first sign would be if his family and friends are mean to you. If they are comfortable talking to you any kind of way and your man never checks them, it's because those friends and family know something that you don't. They are likely saying worse, and he's joining them when he's alone with them. And he's let them know, you're just any girl. You're not the one he's going to end up with. So they are comfortable talking to you any kind of way, treating you meanly. A man who loves you is going to defend you. I don't care who's being mean. His own mother, his siblings, his best friend. So if you find yourself fighting for position in his life and you're constantly telling the people closest to him to be nicer to you and he never defends you, you're not it. He's still looking. I don't care if he proposed. The next sign is if he's still acting like a single man. I'm not even talking about romantically. I mean, if he claims you're getting married but won't update you as the beneficiary on his insurance or make a will that leaves you everything, if he's not looking for a bigger place for the two of you to live, if he's applying for jobs across the country without consulting you, this guy does not see you in his life long term. A guy who's serious about getting married, he's making plans and acting like a married man right now. So if he's not, or he's actively resisting doing that, you're not the one. He is still looking. So don't fall into that trap. The next sign would be if he proposed with a ring that belonged to someone else. If he gave someone else this ring first, clearly that should be a sign he does not value you. You are a placeholder. It didn't work out with the woman he was originally going to have the ring for, or who he gave the ring to. And now he's like, ooh, a recycled ring for a placeholder bride. It shows he doesn't want to spend any money. You are just convenient. You're not someone he's planning for and excited about. Sadly, this is actually more common than people think. A quick Google search revealed all these articles and stories. This one on top from Slate is a man writing into an advice column talking about his plans to do this and, stating, oh, other people have told him this is cheap, this is thoughtless, so how can he make it look better while he's still saving money? It's ridiculous. But it just goes to show you, he had the forethought and the kindness and consideration to pick out a ring for the first woman. He cared about her. And now that marriage has failed, he wants the labor and the convenience of a wife without being a real partner. Don't settle for that. Something people always say when I pose this is, oh, well, what if it was an antique, a family heirloom? What if it belonged to his grandmother or his mother or this or that? I still say tread carefully. I think the fact that some men have heirlooms lying around makes it easy for them to propose without a lot of thought. If he had to invest his own money, then he wouldn't be so quick to hand out that heirloom. But because it's free, I think he has a lot less on the line. Personally, he has a lot less invested. It doesn't mean it's always a bad thing. Actually, what I would look at for that would be the quality of the bond between himself and the mother or the grandmother, whoever the ring belonged to. If he was really close to this person, that might be a very special, genuine gesture. I'm giving you a link to the person I had this amazing relationship with. Maybe they're not here anymore, or maybe I had to ask her for her blessing so I could get this ring and give it to you. That shows some kindness, consideration, care for you, something special about you. But if it's just something he inherited from someone he wasn't close to or didn't even know, It's not special. It was free. Is there a story behind the ring? Oh, this is the ring that my great-grandfather gave my great-grandmother when he survived World War I. Or my great-grandfather went north in the Great Migration and he had to write back to my great-grandmother, every week and save enough money for her to make the trip north. And when she got there, he gave her this ring. Is there a special story? And he's saying, now I hope our love is this enduring. I want to show you I'm going to be a man, a carer, a provider, the same way that my great-grandfather was. I would be more concerned with the history of the marriage of the ring, because those things do have spiritual power. Even if he was close to his grandmother and he was raised by her and now he wants to give you the ring, I would ask more questions. Like, what was her marriage like? Oh yeah, he had a bunch of outside children and she stood by him till the end. No, thank you. No, thank you. I do not want this ring of hard times, spiritual angst, adultery, and depression encircling my finger. We're good. Thank you so much. What a beautiful thought, and I would like my own. But if the first time you're hearing about this relative who the ring belonged to is when you're receiving it, I would be very suspicious that it was just a gift of convenience and a cheap afterthought. Use your own best judgment. This should also go without saying, but if you paid for your own engagement ring, it's a shut-up ring. A lot of women fight the form of patriarchy, but not the actual underlying problems. They think it's feminist or something to do things like this. What would actually be anti-patriarchal would be to subvert the whole structure, for the man to take your last name, for him to do all the domestic labor, things like that, for him to give up the benefits of patriarchy. It is not feminist for you to give up the only benefit of patriarchy and then take on extra labor as the person who makes less in society, as the person who's more discriminated against, who loses their wages to the pink tax and whatnot. This is just stupid. It's not feminist. But feminism really has nothing to do with it. The reason why women do this, no matter what they may say with their mouths, is because they were afraid. And that's what all of these things come down to. You're settling for less because you're afraid. There's no need to be afraid. Okay, you're thinking, if I don't do something extreme, if I don't pay for my own ring, if I don't accept scraps, if I don't let him treat me with disrespect, I'm going to end up alone. First of all, there's nothing wrong with being single. It is a tremendous gift. And, there's a reason why single, child-free women, by every scientific measure, are the happiest, live the longest, are the healthiest. You have no stress. You don't have people putting their expectations on you, trying to milk you for free labor. And if you really get to know yourself and focus on what makes you happy, it's a wonderful time in your life. That said, there's no sin in wanting a relationship, There's nothing wrong with wanting companionship. It doesn't make you less of a feminist. It doesn't make you less of a person. It just means you're human. The problem comes in when you settle for bad treatment because you prefer that to being alone. You should never, ever prefer mistreatment to solitude. You should enjoy your own company. And if you're in a place where you don't feel capable of doing that, you really should take some time to discover why that is and, take the steps that are required, whether that's going to therapy, whether that's digging down to the roots of that childhood trauma, whether that's exploring your fears. What have you been told a relationship means? What does marriage represent to you? If it's something other than a relationship long-term with another human being, if you think marriage is going to be a salvation or it's going to provide you with a sense of self or anything other than companionship, you're putting too much weight on an institution, and you have a hole in your heart that needs to be filled with self-knowledge and, trust and self-discovery. So work on that first. And that's all for now. Like and follow for more.
Okay, y'all. It is not worth it to want to get married. There's no point, honestly. And there's nothing wrong with being single, because whatever that you're running away from at the end of the day or a couple of years down the line, you're still going to have to deal with it, because that man never wanted to do that. You just forced him to do it. So he had to just set you up to get rid of you, at least to stop talking or asking him when is he going to propose to you or marry you. So it's not worth it. It's rather just make peace with being by yourself. I mean, being single is not a bad thing or a sin. It's never worth it. And with the videos that I've been watching, on that video, as she was explaining, she was using the videos of from the weddings. See how men have been treating their own wives at their wedding, just embarrassing them by smashing cake on their face. Like, that's one of the first early on signs that that man is not gonna last. How could you embarrass you in front of everyone, spoil your makeup, spoil your look? That's just off by itself. But it's never worth it to want to him to marry you knowing exactly that that's not what he wants to do. It's not worth it at all. There are men out there who can love you the right way, who can give you what you want in a relationship, rather than wanting it specifically from him. I mean, he was not born for you. Why are you so adamant that you want to be with him only? It's not worth it at all. Move on and just allow you to have some peace. If you cannot even get what you want from this man, just stay single until then. Prioritize your own peace and your own space. Your mental health should come first. Otherwise, let me know what you think from this video, or if maybe you know something along the signs rather. What do you think? Do you know someone who had done this, who was given a shadow ring? What happened to them thereafter? Let me know in the comment sections. Otherwise, let me love and leave you.